we were talking about the planned staged COVID attack on this country initiated by the CCP out of a lab in Wuhan to disrupt and stop President Trump from being reelected. It was part of the plan. I think it took a little election fraud to sprinkle on there, but Ava, please continue.
Yeah, so you have to connect all of this, because I can tell you the CCP is afraid of President Trump. And the CCP, the most hated person of the CCP is President Trump, Stephen Bannon, Peter Navarro, Rudy Giuliani, and Miles Guo. And but the CCP is really cunning, and they're insidiously evil. They're very calculative. So they use their same playbook, which I will share with you what it is, and repeatedly, and so successful. Okay, even though you have an inks, even though you feel the gut telling you something is the CCP is evil and they're doing it, but you can't piece everything together.
Right.
This is how they did it. Okay, so they successfully turning their most hated individuals that I just named, these 5 of them, and they successfully turning them the enemy of Biden and the enemy of Hunter Biden and the public enemy of the extreme leftist in the United States. This is what the CCP has done. So you would ask me, how did they do that? How did the CCP successfully turning their enemy to Americans' enemy? And they're still doing it, okay? So this is where I wanted to help you to understand. So the CCP does the best. Their playbook, they does the best, is deception, okay? And their goal is very clear. The CCP does not have a lot of substances. That's why we call them paper tiger. They bluff, okay? They create this fiction in your mind that misleads you, so you make misjudgment on who they are. And this actually has nothing to do with reality. They might derive from the reality, but they use, a sophisticated psychological manipulation and to reshape the reality. So they only have 3 things. They're doing everything, but 3 goals in mind. The first one is sow discord, because they don't want a unity. Okay?
Right.
They sow discord. The second one is create division. So they wanted to create factions within a group. The more, the better. Okay? They don't just create 2 factions. They want to cut the 2 factions into 4 into 8, and 8 into 16.
Yeah, so it becomes totally dysfunctional.
You have.
Yes. Yeah.
Exactly. They're stalking on your collapse of your internal factional fight. So sow discord, and then create divisions, and then fueling hatred. This is all they do. Everything, every infiltration, every sleep agent, every spice they have, every asset they have, okay, are focusing on the 3 goals. And in order to achieve 3 goals, they need infiltration. They need people disguise themselves and mixed within you. Okay, yes. Whether they're a business person, whether they're a public servant, or whether they're think tank leaders, doesn't matter. Or whether they're students, right? Innocent students. Anyway, they basically infiltrate, is what you're saying. Correct. So they can do a coordinated from within, right? They have to fool everybody. They have to fool Americans. How do they do that, right? The second is media. It's propaganda. So again and again, because if you are receiving, end of the day, the wrong information, you will misjudge the situation. So how do they do that? That's why they not only working on the source of the information, they're also working on the delivery, the channels of sending out those information. That's your social media. That's your news feed, Google. That's your search engine. So that is why the big tech today are not friends of the common people, and they are helping this totalitarian dictatorship. Okay? So, and we have to face that reality. So that's why you really have to ask the information you receive, just like you're putting you think you are putting a puzzle piece together, right? You thought you were doing it because the final picture is like this. You're looking for all the pieces. But your puzzle, the pieces already has been hacked. Somebody has replaced the pieces of the critical pieces in your puzzle. You will never be able to finish that, even though you thought you're finishing a beautiful puzzle. So that is why question your information. So this is what CCP does the best. So they infiltrate you, all sectors of American society. Okay?
Yes, and we've been revealing those, right? You and I have been revealing where they've been infiltrating, which people need to understand. But keep going.
And
yes.
Exactly. And they're using unconventional assets. Think about their financial mighty. They will be able to use what they call BGY to basically bend the will of Americans. I mean, think about those big conglomerate companies, like they all have Chinese divisions, or they all have factories and divisions. Well, the CCP would use that to bend their wheels, okay, to basically summon them to do the things otherwise they would not do.
Ava?
And I would talk about U.S. trade talks, and we will go detail into it.
No. I think everything you're saying is great. I thought of you like, I think it was yesterday that Newsom said whatever the heck he said, but it reminded me when Newsom went to China and spent all that time with Xi Jinping, and then allowed the allowed the CCP to come and grid California, where there was a bioweapon released, more recently after COVID. Mm-hmm. And I look at all the things that Newsom has done to benefit the CCP, and then whatever the heck he was saying yesterday that was just disgusting. I think that you can see the sellout. Like you talk about infiltration. The CCP is controlling the governor of California. How's that working out for us in the rest of the country? How's it working out for the ICE agents? How's it working out for the military, the National Guard that's now had to be deployed? All because I believe, the CCP controls Gavin Newsom. Am I wrong to think that?
Well, let me put it that way, okay? So
yes.
You need two hands to clap, right?
Right.
You need two hands to clap. Any one hand, you will not make a noise. Okay, I mean, Americans understand this. California has been a one-party state for how long? If you look at their legislative body state, I'm talking about state assemblies and state legislature, they have been Democratic parties for so long, right? You can name a few. I mean, Donald Reagan is very rare and a Republican, but it's been decades like that, even the city level, right?
Yes.
So, but it's a take two hands to collapse. And I can tell you the CCP is the most evil and sinister evil forces. And they're doing this so well. And all they do is really just sow discord and create divisions and then feeling the hatred. And the rest of them are done by people themselves.